So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, and that means the playoffs here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We started play Wednesday evening on the women's side, round-robin portion, a playoff section to determine the 8 qualifiers, and here we are, all of the women's action on the ice this morning. We've got this feature matchup between Silvana Tirinzoni and Kayla MacMillan. My name's Sean Joyce, joined by Jason Chang this morning, and Connor Sims on production for us. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, interesting matchup here. Of course, someone who needs no introduction, Silvana Tirinzoni, multiple-time world champion, and Kayla MacMillan. Many players will know about this MacMillan team, but certainly not as well decorated as the Tirinzoni squad.
Tirinzoni was one of the teams that won her pool. The playoff format here was through the round-robin portion. You played 3 games. The 6 teams that won their pools, as well as the next 2 best qualifiers, played off. Those 8 teams played for the first 4 playoff spots. The losers dropped down and played a second qualifying game last night. Now, as it turns out, not on this particular sheet, but there are 2 of the women's teams playing this morning that would have gotten off the ice at the same time as we did last night. They got off about 11 o'clock to midnight local time, and they're back out there today looking to try and stay out there all day. No rest for the wicked.
Yeah, some of those
Isn't
teams
that the
would play
saying?
3 games. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them would have played 3 games yesterday, including that very late evening draw, and now back out here early in the morning, 8:30 Central Time.
Nice come around made there. We haven't seen a ton of those when you've got a corner guard where they come wide around all weekend long. There just hasn't been as much curl, and there hasn't been as much play wide, so that might be part of why they're just not comfortable playing that. But she didn't want to come around the center, of course, with Last Rock.
Yeah, you're right. With the amount of curl here, not as much as the slam ice. And the slam ice, once you have a corner guard, you rarely see teams going wide around it. You just would have to throw it so far off the sheet that you might not be able to get there. But here it's only about 3, maybe 3 a bit extra curl.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say it's a little surprising to me. You could get there on this ice, but I haven't seen a lot of it played, and I think part of it comes down to, we were talking about this a little bit last night, because the broom never gets out that wide. As soon as you start putting the broom out into the 12-foot, which is where you had to be to come around that guard, they're probably not as confident that they know their weight. We certainly saw a few draws missed yesterday when they had to go wide.
Yeah, and now Silvana trying to get rid of that center guard and roll to a corner, and not a bad shot, but she just didn't quite cover her stone in the house. Left the port here.
Yeah. The second for the MacMillan team is Lindsay Debut. Lauren Lenentine is the lead. She's sweeping on the right as we view it. Brittany Tran plays third. Kayla MacMillan is the skip in the house. And they're on the brush on this one all the way. Has to negotiate this port. Actually gets a little bit of a flip inside. Has a piece of her rock undercover. Could go after it directly, but it's a short run, and she doesn't like that guard that close to the center line anyway, so Tirinzoni is going to play the run. Might be able to roll to a corner on the other side. If she gets it just slightly across the face, could roll it behind the guard as well. Carol Howell, the second. Selena Vichonki on the brush here. Silvana Tirinzoni throws the third stones, but calls the game. She's in the house. And, of course, Alina Petz throws the fourth stones for this team.
Yeah, and that back-end duo of Silvana Tirinzoni and Elena Petz have done so well over the years. And, you know, maybe one of the top teams, well, definitely one of the top teams in the world, maybe just one step right now behind Rachel Homan. They're just trying to find that little extra to give Team Homan that run at the Olympics, because I think everybody thinks Team Homan of Canada is the favorite going in.
Well, we had a few rocks in play to start this end, but with that peel, not a lot to work with now.
Yeah, certainly trending toward a blank end here. And, you know, this event here in Swift Current, the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown, what an international field we have here, John. And of the 8 playoff teams, I'm looking at it, 6 international teams making the final 8. The Canadian teams, Kayla MacMillan, we're seeing them here on this feature sheet. Serena Gray-Withers out of Alberta. They beat Satsuki Fujisawa, I believe, yesterday to get into the position.
Yeah, and it's not just necessarily that you talk about this being international teams in the playoffs. It's not that they just necessarily. I want to be careful how I phrase this. It's not that they just necessarily beat up on the Canadian teams, so to say. There was a very strong international field. I'm just counting them up myself right now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of the 24 teams were international teams. And that, I think, we talked about this again yesterday too, comes down to the timing. That's one of the things that worked out for Swift Current well this year. There's a slam as well as a tier 2 next week in Saskatoon. And a lot of these teams that were playing in that decided, well, why don't we go to Saskatchewan, play 2 events? They're using this as a tune-up. And what a treat it must be for the viewers in Swift Current, because this has been a good spiel for a couple of years now, and they'll get a lot of good teams, but I would venture to say there's probably not much chance they've had 15 international teams out of 24 in the past. This is almost like a world championship. It's like a slam without it being a slam.
Oh, absolutely. And you look at the teams who made the playoffs. You've got Isabella Rana, who just came off a European championship, of course, an Olympic gold medalist. And you'll have Korea's been at many slams before. Right here, Silvana Tirinzoni, European champion, Madeline DuPont as well, former European champion in the final 8. So really exciting to see all these teams. And of course, great work from Kayla MacMillan to make it all the way to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, certainly you have to envy the people in Swift Current. Generally, you only get to see a field like this on TV. You can come down to your club in Swift Current, still see all of these teams. Could have seen them all weekend long, and still a number of them around for the last day today. It's always misleading. I've been in this club. We look at the background, and there's just the 2 rows of chairs. There's nobody sitting there, but of course, the better viewing is upstairs. So I would bet it's packed.
Yeah, that upstairs lounge, of course, really nice here. And, well, as long as the folks braved getting out of their house and into the very cold weather in Swift Current, into their car and driving over, or hoping to have to walk over to be a fan. Otherwise, you can always join us on Curling Stadium in the comfort of your fireplace.
Warming up today, though, I believe. It's supposed to, here in Saskatoon, supposed to get up to -9 today, so might be a good day to venture over to the rink if you happen to be in Swift Current. positively balmy after minus 36 2 nights ago.
Yeah, both teams doing a good job exchanging hits here, so definitely trending towards a first end blank.
Important here for Alina Petz to stay on this one. But gonna roll across and all the way out now. Silvana Tirinzoni helping the brush. You don't want to just be hanging around back there because you know that Kayla MacMillan's going to draw in that direction anyway. Hard to get behind that guard, but I mean, even if she's just in the neighborhood of it, she'll influence the final shot for the blank. And had that red one stayed just off the rings, there could have been a chance for a jam as well. She's going to give it a very serious effort to get behind because she's not taking a lot of ice here. This, I would venture to guess, this is probably a draw path maybe nobody's seen all week.
Yeah, they're going around that corner. We have seen the inside-out shots curl a little bit more than the outside-in, so you may get a little bit better coverage here if you could make this draw. But
I don't think anybody's likely gone this wide with a draw to the corner, so this is a guess. Worth the risk, I think, though. I don't see much chance that you're tapping the red in, so give it a go. Even if as I said, if you get edge to edge, at least you've influenced Alina Petz's shot for the blank. She'll have to play the out turn at it and roll all the way across the rings to get out.
Yeah, like you said, not too much risk. As long as you're always hitting the guard on the high side, you wouldn't be ever pushing it in. I would have probably taken a hair more ice just to be safer, but we'll see.
It looks tight for sure, but she's got a nice line coming in. Now it's a question of can they get it deep enough to bury. I think she's got the perfect line, just didn't have enough weight.
Good effort. Yeah, the complete gets especially on the weight.
Well, it does make the blank a little easier. Just pick a spot you want to throw it through. And of course, with play having started on Wednesday, by this point in the week, I think probably most of these teams know most of the ice, but they'll pick a spot. In this particular case, playing inside out, you won't see a lot of the teams throw that as a rule. So they'll try to get a read on this spot in case they need it later on in the game. Put that in the memory banks, put nothing on the board. Still no score after the opening end of play. Silvana Tirinzoni, Kayla MacMillan looking for their spot in the semifinals. We'll have second end action for you right after this.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Back for the second end. Center guard thrown up to start things off. Now we're going to see the corner guard from Tirinzoni. After the blank in the first end, we might see Silvana play a little more aggressively to try to score here in the second end. Again, Jason, something we talked about last night. These teams at this level all so aware of odd end versus even end right from the start of the game. It's quite a bit different than when I was playing. We didn't usually worry about it till about the sixth, but they're conscious of it right away. So looking for the come around now from the side away from the corner guard, just in case they don't get it dead behind. You don't want to leave the roll behind the corner. Going to have to go to get this by, though. Might not have the weight. We'll rub off the guard.
Maybe just a couple feet short on the speed, and the sweepers just couldn't hold that line.
Well, as much as Silvana wanted some rocks and play to try to generate some offense here, she's already got the front of the house pretty closed off. Can't really do much about it yet. Her first thought was try to play the port, come in behind the yellow. Looks like they're talking about coming wide around the corner guard again. This is a shot they played in the first end. It would allow them to bury on their own stone. Similar to how we started the last end. The issue for Tirinzoni last end came when they tried to peel the center guard. They rolled over, tapped the other one, and left the stone in the house open in a port. And a couple of rocks later, we were looking at a blank.
Yeah, but pretty well executed. Wanted them maybe a hair deeper, but not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad there.
Yeah, MacMillan now trying to go through this port herself. Lindsay DeBay.
Both brushers down early. This did seem to get inside that line a little quick. They've got to really work to get it by the yellow guard. They're going to rub, and if that red wasn't fully buried before, it is now. But I also don't see any way you're getting to the button anytime soon, and Silvana Tirinzoni might not like that. She's looking at, I don't even see a real obvious double peel. Like, she might be able to move one.
Yeah, she certainly doesn't like those three yellow guards right in front of the house there. So I like this peel here, and
she'd love to move two of them, but it's tough to do.
Hard to move two without disturbing the situation that you've got on the two reds there. I think she wants to leave those two reds exactly where they are. So
yeah, the only double I'm seeing maybe is if you play. So the tighter two yellow guards play the half rock double between those two, but then your shooter's staying there too, and you're still leaving the one on the center line. So gets one, comes across. Would have maybe liked to at least touch that yellow on the way by, but just rolls across to the wide side and still protects a little bit of the 12-foot.
Yeah, but her main objective was getting rid of that center guard, leaving the middle path open. So she has done that. This is going to force this run back here.
That's funny that you say that, because that's what I was just thinking, that as much as, you know, you always want to have the button available. Well, the button's still not available, at least not for a draw, because the two corner guards are still in the way. But she dealt with the center guard first. She might still have to deal with one of those others just to give herself a clear path. Oh, a little bit of a bad break here, looking for the run back, and is going to stuff it in behind one of the other guards. Like, she can see about half. That's better than nothing.
Yeah, but with that jam there, you're definitely going on the offense now if your team's Tirinzoni.
Yep. You have to be a little bit more careful where you put this. You don't want it up if you're just full 8, you probably leave a double off that rock. So you got to try to get this one close to the tee line.
Yeah, steepen that angle.
Yeah. Does MacMillan take on the double no matter where this is?
Well, I think if this
I stumped you.
I think if this is made well, I think you can make a soft weight hit on that red stone and roll it towards this other red stone that's being rolling in front of it. You're definitely not taking on the double with this angle.
You're not now. No, that qualifier you made, if this is made well, it wasn't. It's deep in the house. It is. She is sitting too, but a chance to hit and roll behind the yellow on the other side, you'd be shot rock now.
Looking for a soft weight here, hit here from Brittany Tran. We'll come over enough.
Will finish off that center line, but it took a long time to cross. She'll make the hit, but loses the shooter. You can see just a little bit of hesitation from Silvana before she called this draw, and I think I know what she's worried about. This, you're coming around this side. I mean, it's the call. It's the most obvious call. But if you dead bury this around the yellow, there's a chance Kayla MacMillan plays the run back, and there's 3 guards on that side. She wouldn't have to make it absolutely perfect to leave it buried. She'd love to come around the single one again, but she doesn't want to group her own stones. You make this first, and then you worry about what your opposition might do. This is the more obvious call. Now, it'll be a very gradual move till it touches that center line. They do cross pretty hard, but she's got to get there first. There it goes. It's a good example of just what we've been talking about. I mean, there's not as big a movement here in Swift Current as what we've seen in other events, but there's good late movement. There's good finish, and it certainly moves hard off the center line. As she went through the port, she was still just on the other side of center, and she's got that 3/4 buried.
Yeah, it ended up pretty good. Good late finish. We saw that on that shot really nicely, how much it did finish at the end.
A lot of rotation here. She's not going to get as much finish with this. She'll catch a piece of it. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get it out. Gets a little fortunate redirecting the shooter onto that red stone at the back and sticks right there, dead behind cover for shot rock. That was
very fortunate there.
Yeah, very close to leaving red sitting too.
Try to tap this back a couple of feet, maybe 3 feet, but 2 again.
Yeah. I'm almost surprised here by the turn selection, because when they put it there in the first place, they did it with the wide out turn.
That's right. And from this in-turn side, this clockwise side, it does look slightly overburied, but as we said, it does seem to move a bit harder off the center, so...
Yeah. I have to think she'd like to move it here. Dead freeze isn't bad. Sweeping for curl now. It's going to need to take some of that big move that we just talked about. It's going to get a piece. Does not move it far enough and loses the shooter.
I think yellow is still shot stone.
Yeah, I would agree. And a chance for Kayla MacMillan to come around.
Yeah, from going on defense, now you can go on a little bit of offense here. Certainly the force in play now.
Yeah, not even just the force. I mean, yes, the button's open. We talked about this earlier in the end, or I think I mentioned it anyway, that the button, you can see it from the hacks. You can't draw to it with either turn.
The line you need for the, I guess, the out-turn draw is going right through that guard right now.
I would say the intern's going through the other guard. So you bury this on the top 4 foot behind that guard, it's going to be a tough one to draw to beat. You don't usually think of a rock at the edge of the 4 foot as something that you're likely to steal with, but the setup on the house right now, a rock buried at the edge of the 4 foot, is a very potential steal stone. This has got a lot of rotation. It's got to get to that center line before it'll take that finish.
I think they're going to give Team Tirinzoni a chance back here because this one's going to be deep. And now Silvana can come around the guard and put it in that 4 foot area, like we said.
She can play the double, too.
That's right.
That's actually why Alina got up to the tee line and then decided, no, I don't think I want to sweep this because I don't want it to be even. It slid deep enough that it's a tough double. It's flat, but Alina Pett's one of the best hitters in the world. It's certainly in her wheelhouse. Silvana's thinking now, well, if we're behind the tee line again, we give her a way out. Maybe we just draw. Get the skip stews, get in front of the tee line.
All right, Silvana, thanks for making me sound correct on that one.
Yeah.
Going for the draw. But you're right, the double is a good call too. Just depends what you want to leave and what you think you can make here.
It was Alina's first thought, as she didn't even sweep that one back. You could just kind of read her mind. She's thinking double to sit 2, but this shot probably makes more sense. Not as much rotation, but she's got the same problem. It has not got to the center line yet, and that means she's not taking the finish. Now they're playing the freeze to the back one. She's going to tap it a little bit, not far enough to get it out, and she rolls across to where she's wide open.
Yeah, I didn't really get anything out of that shot. She had moved the yellow one far back enough. Maybe it helps a little bit. Then Kayla would have to be a little bit more careful with their hit. But now you can hit at 3. You might still leave a triple, so you're trying to roll a little bit to the left-hand side from the thrower's perspective.
Yeah. You almost want to roll dead buried, I think. Those rocks are so close together. You usually look for the 90-degree angle, but they're so close together. If she rolls just to the other side of center, the triple's probably still there. Nose hit it, I think it's there. Just the other side of center, it's still there. You probably need to get this behind cover. And honestly, if you rolled out here, you've still got the force. That's all you're thinking about here is the force. You just don't want to leave the triple for 2.
Yeah, really good point. There really is no double on the 2 stones right now. That being said, if you rolled out, you might actually end up disturbing one of those 2 yellow stones. So,
you'd have to cross it and roll out over the top of your own. Yeah. Well, that might be what she's doing. Although this is really curling. This one got to the center line. You talked about disturbing it. Just gets across the face of it. We've been assuming that yellow is shot rock. We've really never actually seen anybody point at it. We've seen a few people look. Silvana looking again, but it does look like they're going to play just the straight draw. If you thought you might be second, you'd try to come down to that yellow one again and just move it a couple of inches and then maybe measure for 2. But this will be the straight draw. Alina Pett's, we think, facing 2. Just needs full 12, a little better than full 12. Light the 8 would do it for sure.
Yeah, she just threw it down the same path.
Doesn't have line to the back one yet. crosses that line a bit and then starts to move. Will come to rest. Back 8 foot, picks up the single point. We have a score after 2 ends of play. It's 1-0 for Silvana Tirinzoni, and Kayla MacMillan will have last rock for the first time. When we come back for end number 3, it's the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown.
Welcome to the rockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Third end underway. Center guard up to start things off once again, this time belonging to Silvana Tirinzoni. The come around gets a sliver in behind and leaves enough of it that it appears that Selena is going to be asked to try to remove that stone. Just cleaning. This needs to move. Sweeping for curl now. She's going to get a piece, but it's very thin. Not going to be enough to remove the Yellowstone, and the red will... I would say it left the house and spun back. We've seen lots of those spins. Like, to go back, we keep saying this is not as much curl as what we've seen on the slam ice, but you can't blame the rocks. The rocks are definitely sharp. We've seen lots of those spins, and that doesn't happen with dull stones. These stones have been conditioned. I know the ice maker here, Swift Current, same guy that will be doing the ice at Provincials.
Yeah, with those sharper rocks, it grabs the pebble a little bit more as it slows down, and as that rock slows down at the end, it just grabs the pebble and gives that little bit of that backspin.
Yeah, and we've seen lots of that this week. And, because we're seeing that, we're seeing a lot of sweepers position themselves in a little differently. They've been conscious of it, and they're sweeping, almost anticipating those spins, which, it's good. It's good to see the sweepers try to get themselves in the right position. It's more agile than I'd like to be at this age, but you have to twist your body around a little bit sweeping those rolls.
Well, unfortunate miss on that last stone to just try to sit 2. They played the hit. I was surprised they didn't just draw down there and split the rings that way.
Now Lindsay being asked to play the hit and roll, and not simply roll behind the guard here. They want to roll past the guard. You don't want to roll behind a center guard, the opposition color at the back of the house. You're not wanting to take any chance of getting forced here, but she's got to start to group these red stones if she's ever going to get back to a blank position. Needs to roll past the guard. She's close, needs to finish a little more. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Tirinzoni would love to get the play behind the guard, force a score here in the odd end. She'll still be behind the tee line if she makes this roll, but there's not going to be a lot of scoring area.
Yeah, for that team without last stone, even if you're behind the center line or just behind the tee line here, you're just cutting down the scoring area.
Yeah, you'd love to talk her into playing a freeze. I don't know if you'll convince her to do that anyway, but now I wonder, does this change the call at all? Because you could just roll behind the guard. You're going to be at least half in front of the center line, but it doesn't look like it's tempting her at all. She's going to play for the long roll and still try to get back to a potential double.
Yeah, certainly Kayla's strategy here does seem to be keeping that blank alive.
They jumped the sweep on this. Did a good job to hold it getting by the guard. And they will roll to the other side of the guard. Still, even with a nose hit, it would be a very thin double. I think you'd just see them try to hit and roll towards that red one more time. Silvana, of course, doesn't want to hit this on the nose. She'd like to roll behind the guard again.
Yeah, if Silvana makes the roll behind the guard, I'd be interested to see whether Kayla switches strategy and plays the draw next.
I love that you said that. I was just thinking the same thing. We're on to third stone. It's like, how long can she wait before she has to decide, well, it doesn't look like we're getting a blank. We better try to score two.
Yep. Let's see what happens here, but that is what I would do if Silvana gets behind the guard. They're really thinking hard to hold the line, though.
I'm not sure she's getting by the guard.
Yeah. Must have gotten it going because it was moving pretty hard. Well, and all of a sudden you've got your two in play.
Yeah. And that red stone, and they were watching over top of it. It never actually touched the divider. It was spinning as it got there. So there's actually kind of a pocket on that side. It's closer to your other yellow stone than you'd normally want to draw, but with a pocket behind it like that, you get one in there. There's not going to be a double. You might not be second shot right away, but that doesn't matter yet.
I think that hidden long roll is going to be a little bit too precise. I wouldn't take that on if you're trying to get two.
I think the reason she's looking at it, though, is the freeze wouldn't be second shot. And and again, as I said, I don't think that matters yet. You've still got 4 rocks left, but I think she wants to be second shot right now.
Yeah, I think if you want to be second shot, you could just get this and roll it in a hair. Leave that double to be quite steep. The long roll is pretty precise. If you don't get it all the way there, then you could leave that double for Silvana, and your end is for two might be over.
Yeah, it's not critical to get frozen in there. There's never a 3 in play. That's
the way to do it.
That was almost a very sneaky way to do it. Jammed it in there, didn't so much as get the freeze, but she's left the 2 yellows almost dead even. Take one more look at this. They were hoping to hit this quite a bit thicker, even jumped on the offside sweep, hoping to get it to curl. Just catches a thin piece, comes across, clips her own stone at the back of the forefoot, but fortunate that she drives it right onto that red stone. And the yellows in the house end up dead even.
Yeah, if they actually got a little bit more curl, I think that yellow stone maybe slides underneath that red stone, and she's only sitting 1 after that. So
yeah, true.
Well, you need a few breaks in this game, and that's a good result for them. Now 2 points definitely in play.
just looking for the nose hit here. She wants to exchange hits a couple of times, try to get this high enough to have a shot for the double onto that stone at the 12. Kayla MacMillan aware of that. She's going to try to roll this to the outside now, put some space between them and try to keep them even in the house. Tran very thin on the last one. She had a big pop on this one with a lot of rotation. This needs to curl. Well, she got fortunate on the last one, not so much on this one. Rolls out. And now Alina Petz doesn't have to worry about the double. Just make this one go away.
You give the opportunity right back.
Yep.
I think you do want to roll this towards the center a little bit, right? You don't want to stay right there.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Just still leave a kind of a pocket there. I'd be tempted to maybe throw a freeze in there if they nosed it.
Yeah, probably not in the third end. I don't think you'll see the teams take a shot. If it's funny, we talk about odd and even. If it was the fourth end, I think she'd freeze all day. But in the third, I think she'd still hit it.
Yeah, I think you're right. The odds and evens do make quite a difference.
You saw Kayla indicate she was going to try to roll towards those reds. I'm even a little surprised she's trying to roll that direction right now, because if you roll to the back one, you're not in the rings.
That's right. If you just roll it out, now you've left the pocket for Team Tirinzoni.
Yeah, and it's not like you can really make the hit more difficult. If you could roll to the corner of the top one, you'd still be in the rings, but you can't. It's too deep for that. And you'd hate to leave it where it's possible for Alina Petz to do that, and now your blank is a little trickier. They were on the brush right out of her hand. Going to make very thin contact. This one curled across the face, just catches a piece. Will remove it, but the shooter rolls out of play as well. Silvana was ready to hang the blank on the board and go down to the other end, but Alina says, no, I got one more to throw yet.
Yeah, she got a little excited.
This is interesting. You saw in the first end, Kayla MacMillan trying to come around a rock that was just barely in play, and how tight the ice was. Here with Alina Petz, essentially it's the same type of shots to the other side of the sheet, but trying to get in front of one that's just off the rings at the back. She's taking a lot more ice. So this is that what you talked about on the first end. You know, make sure you've got enough ice to get a rock in play. You want her to have to throw at something. Kayla MacMillan, of course, came up a little short in that one in the first, and it was a throw-through blank. So Alina not playing as aggressively towards the freeze. She's going to make sure she gets something in play somewhere. And, you know, there's still a possible jam back there, so Kayla has to be a little careful. I might want to take this back. Yeah, I would have thought they would have wanted that maybe a foot farther back, so she had to play the long roll to get out. You try to put that where if she's trying the short roll, she's got to risk jamming her stone onto that red that's just off the rings. But it's high enough now, I think she can roll over the top of that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, what you're saying is if that red stone had gone to the back 12, kind of beside the second red stone, the back, further back.
Yeah, another, a foot back is probably close. You look at that angle where, if you hit this, you could double the two reds, except you don't want to double the two reds because your yellow would stay in the rings. And then she's got to play from the center line side and roll. It's an 8-foot roll to get out then on the swingy turn. Final stone for Kayla MacMillan, looking for the blank, needs to hit and roll out. And again, they've jumped the sweep right away. She over-curled the first one, a lot more weight here on the second, trying for the blank. This is going to be close to the nose. Enough to get it out of play, though. So we do have our second blank of this women's quarterfinal matchup. Silvana Tirinzoni continues to lead 1-0. Kayla MacMillan continues to have the hammer. We'll see how the fourth end goes when we come back from this short break.
Hey Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Fourth end, starting much like the earlier three. We see the center guard, and those center guards have been perfectly placed so far in this game, splitting that center line. The corner guard goes up, and now Selena Vichonki trying to come around it. And even this, it's the same every end. When they play the come around, they're coming around from the side opposite the corner guard, so they don't leave the hit and roll in behind.
Yeah, we've seen a few little mistakes in the first three ends. You know, those couple of blanks were generated by a couple of mistakes as well. A single point that Tirinzoni got, they were set up for two that end as well. So,
Still just the fourth rock of the end. Can't make a move on the center guard, so they're going to look to come around their corner here.
nicely done.
Red's still shot rock for now, I think, but that yellow is dead buried. Looking to come right around everything here in the center. Try to sit two for the time being. This is the fifth stone of the end, so the peels can start after this, and you have to expect with the way things are sitting in the house right now, MacMillan might be looking at some kind of run, try to get a couple of reds. If this one's placed well, maybe try to move all three of them.
Yeah, if you can move a couple of reds, you can even leave your Yellowstone as another corner guard to protect that one that's behind the corner right now.
Tirinzoni sitting two behind cover right now, but Lindsay Debut and the Hacks trying to remove all three reds here. Certainly you want to move at least two here. Gets the guard, catches the second, will drive it by the third, but as you said, Jason, she rolls across. Now she's got her buried stone is between angled guards, and I don't think Silvana could even peel the guards because I think the yellows are angled towards the red in the house.
Yeah,
One
really
more
great
look at
shot
it.
really good shot from Lindsay here.
Yeah, I don't
And
think
that
she missed
bonus-
the third one by very much either.
No, it just went by. But I don't think that really matters. Silvana's going to be really thinking about how to deal with the situation now because obviously there's no run back on the yellows to get rid of the one in the house.
And it's risky to peel them because they are lined up to go towards that red. Now, they're close enough together. Depending how you hit it, there's going to be some kind of drag. But, boy, if you ever were to stuff that on that stone at the back corner of the button, you've set up the opportunity for two. The only double peel I see is the tick double, and that's a little risky. You might not get the second one. They're going to give it a go. Playing it like a hit and roll towards the center. She's trying to get the drag down. So just off the nose on the broom side, and I think hoping the second one drags enough to miss the red, the back of the button. She took a look at the angle, so she's got an idea where they need to hit this or which direction it needs to go.
Yeah, when there's drag, sometimes there's still a little bit of a guess how much it drags, so let's see. Will it get over the top?
Oh, it went over the top. Okay.
So maybe enough separation that it didn't actually drag there.
Yeah, or maybe didn't hit it quite where they wanted, though, either, because they've left the Yellowstone still guarded.
That's true.
She definitely wanted to hit it a little off-center further, roll the shooter a bit. Gives Lindsay a chance to make a play on the shot stone, and just needs to hit and stay to sit two for now.
Yeah, now you want Alina to roll this, or Silvana to roll this underneath.
Also, I saw Alina gesture towards the straight back on the red. Alina would probably be the one that would be more inclined to play that. She throws those runbacks so well. Silvana can throw them too, but the soft game is definitely her preference. Outstanding drawer, always has been.
Absolutely, yeah.
Touch, she's got just fantastic touch. It's that last little bit of movement will make the hit, rolls across, not enough to get under cover, but does start to get the rocks grouped a little bit. MacMillan's going to ask Brittany Tran to roll back to the other side. Brittany throws a lot of rotation, and we saw her under curl and a couple of hits last in. She's going to get the hit here. She will hang around this time.
Yeah, whatever she did, good adjustment from the last end, because she did roll out both times last end, being on the wide side.
Yeah, well, she didn't exactly roll out the first time. That was the roll into her own and kick it over onto the red one at the edge of the 12 foot. She almost set up the deuce, but it was one of those ones where you have to turn around and say sorry. I don't know with the women's play and with Tirinzoni whether it would have been that way, but there was the possibility after that shot last end you could have learned some Swiss swear words.
Do you know any Swiss?
I don't. In men's play, there definitely probably would have been some things muttered under the breath about, I can't believe that.
Yeah, so I think this Swiss team is from the German side of Switzerland, right? So I think they're speaking Swiss German.
Could be. Actually, that sounds right to me, because I think when we watch them play on TSN, I think Vic knows a little bit of German, and he can follow these players a little bit, but I think he struggles with the men's team, because I think they're more on the French side. Made the roll, long roll, and I think she still shot rock too.
Yeah, really nice shot there from Silvana.
I wasn't
nice touch, soft weight. They got the carve.
One more look at it. How far is this going to roll? And there it is. I've got to look at the overhead and see where it stopped. But yeah, she's got shot rock in behind cover.
You can chase this though, as you said.
Yeah. And probably has to right here. There are times when you just say, well, we're going to put one in front of the tee line, but we're on to thirds last stone here. If you don't move this here, you probably never get another chance to. I don't know if this has got the weight to do it. I wouldn't be wanting to just sit right in front of it. Well, it gets shot, but now Alina Petz can follow it down. You're just going to go freeze after freeze after freeze, and you may get forced. I would have thought they would have been trying to throw enough weight to move that and flop just open for now.
Yeah, I agree. I think moving it probably made a lot of sense here. I mean, they were probably worried that maybe they don't get the finish, they chap off of it, don't sit too, but I think that was an opportunity missed.
Yeah, I don't think I even wanted to stay behind the guard there, because you're just inviting this attempted freeze, and really, as much as Tirinzoni doesn't necessarily want to be chasing around a corner guard, this is her way to get out of trouble this end. She can never make a play on that stone at the top 12 foot. So an opportunity to freeze is the way to eliminate both of them. Got to get to the nose, though. If you don't get to the nose, you might leave a way to squeeze out both reds.
Weight was perfect. Can you see enough of it to blast it out?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think if you can hit as much as you can, see if the red will just squirt open a little bit. Squirt to the right from the.
You might squirt it open, but you just squirt it open, it might be shot rock. Now your shooter would be close to splitting the tee line. Maybe a sliver more behind than in front. Get to the nose and wiggle them a little bit. There still might be a shot to play the squeeze on the next one. Definitely looks like with that ice, she's trying to move it somehow or another.
Yeah, you do need to jiggle it a little bit, I think, if you're ever going to make one of your other yellow ones come into play.
Yeah. But I wonder if she's not trying to leave the... Like, I'd be tempted to try to leave the back red in play somewhere so that when you play the squeeze, the second yellow's still got a rock to jam on.
That's right. So just through rings, weight, move everything back a little bit.
Plenty of rotation, but this still started moving really early. Getting really tight to the guard already, and if she's by the guard, is she by the yellow at the top of the 8?
Yeah, she's
by that one too. Actually gets ever so slightly across the face. That's pretty good. She's got shot rock. She did do that, what we were just talking about, leave the angle so that If she gets the chance to play that yellow, both reds can go. The second yellow should jam. Hard for Alina to come down and do much with it. She can't really freeze to it again. If she freezes to the inside corner, but she actually could make the shot easier. Tirinzoni's looking at freezing to the inside. The problem I see, if you freeze to the inside corner where your shot rock, you're probably fully exposed. Then she can throw full hit weight at it, and it's probably for 3. The reds will all leave, and only one yellow. I only see one yellow going, and it's the one that was just thrown.
Yeah, do you have to be careful here? They did look at see if they could move the yellow back just a little bit so that that blast angle isn't quite as good for.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room for that.
They are moving it back.
That actually probably works.
Yeah, that's okay, I think.
Yeah. She's sitting 2, and just the way everything's angled, there's no way to get to the blast and get that red that was just thrown, I don't think. Certainly not something you're going to want to take on anyway. If the guard wasn't there, you might be able to hit, well, if you could hit the back red first and then come into the side of the other one with a ton of weight, it might be there, but too risky to even attempt that with the guard in the way, because I think you'd want to play the intern to throw that.
Yeah, so I'd say mission accomplished there for Alina's last stone.
Kayla MacMillan facing 2 with her final stone. Just needs the nose hit. She can pick up the single. Will be all tied up after 4 ends of play. Just that same soft hit weight they've been throwing. Cleaning a little early. Getting ready, looks like, to try to make this curl. She's a little on the thin side. Doesn't have a ton of room to roll. She'll make the hit, but this is going to roll too far. So it's a steal of 1 here for Silvana Tirinzoni in the 4th end. She now jumps out to a 2-point lead in a game where points have been hard to come by. Kayla MacMillan will hang on to the last rock for the 5th end.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Well, that changes the strategy here as we begin play in the fifth. No more center guards. Tirinzoni plays the first one into the top of the 4 foot. The corner guard went up. And Jason, that has to fall into the category of an unforced error. But in a game where points have been hard to come by and there haven't been a lot of rocks in play, how much does that force Kayla MacMillan to play maybe a little bit more aggressively here, even in an odd end?
Yeah, I think it really does. And she already started that with that corner guard, of course. And we'll see what she does here. If she wants to be really aggressive, she can throw another corner guard, or she just might come around it. She's going to go for that second corner guard.
And they were just able to get enough of the center line with that guard attempt that she can't really, if that doesn't touch center, she might even chase. But I've talked about this on the air a few times before. This was an unintended consequence of the no-tick zone. It used to be if you could see half a rock like that, you might try to go after it and you just tight ice it. And you think, well, if we rub the guard off and roll in behind our corner, that's not bad. It's not good now, though. You do it now, and it's still a violation of the rules. So you have to play those shots with a lot more precision. And what it means in a spot like this, they just can't afford the miss, so they don't even attempt it. And it's great for us because it means now we get a few more extra rocks in play. which always leaves more angles. It just gets very interesting to see who's going to blink first and what kind of angles they're going to find.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Teams just have to be much more cautious if they're playing a rock around that, or just have to negotiate that center guard, even on a softer weight hit, or even the draws, taking a little bit extra ice just to make sure you're not chopping off of it.
They have to play the shot with more precision. I skipped largely myself, and you didn't always tell your lead what you were playing on a shot like that, but you tight ice it, and it's an either or. We're either going to make the shot we wanted or the split, which is just perfectly fine. You can't think like that now. If you're going to play that shot, you have to actually commit to the shot that you're actually calling, and I like that. Anything that forces a little more precision is probably a good thing. These teams are all good enough to play precise shots. You don't need to be giving them too many chances to play an either or.
I do wonder whether that will evolve at some point as teams practice different shots. When the free guard zone first came into effect, and that tick shot was one of the hardest shots for lead, but as teams started practicing it and getting better, that tick shot was played very, very commonly, right? At first, not very many teams played that shot thinking it was too hard. So,
well, and it's now starting to go the other way. Now, when you miss the center line, I've seen a few chances here, even this week, where teams have maybe had a shot to play it and they didn't throw it because of the no-tick zone. They just haven't been playing it as much. They're not as practiced at it anymore, and they don't want to miss it. And essentially, that's a 0 on the scoreboard. You don't want to rock where you get nothing out of it. So because they're not playing it as often anymore, they're not practicing it as much. And when they have the opportunity now, they're not as inclined to try it. But you're right. I mean, this strategy is always evolving as the rules change. And as the equipment has gotten better. And I don't just mean the brooms and even the rocks. Like, I was involved in forming the Players Association here in Saskatchewan in the early 2000s. And when we were surveying the players at that time as to what we needed to do, everybody was talking about we need better ice conditions, more curl. So that's just the early 2000s. And what we know now is, well, it's not really the ice, it's the rocks. If your rocks will curl, you don't have to worry about the ice. So most of that knowledge has come in the last 20 years, right? So now they know, even the manufacturers will tell you to condition the stones. You don't want them to get too dull. And the equipment is just better. They can make shots with the equipment currently. The ice conditions are better. It makes it a lot more entertaining when you know that all the shots are available out there.
Yeah, this is the shot that they didn't want to play when the free guard zone was still in effect and the no-tick rule actually was in effect.
Yep.
More importantly, the no-tick. Now they can make the play at this.
Yeah, and they still throw it with quiet weight. If you happen to chip the tight guard, you probably have your shooter come in behind the corner. This is, again, a lot of rotation that's up and down the lineup for the MacMillan team. They do throw a lot of rotation on these. Wow. She was just playing that as a freeze. You look at how tight that port is with the reverse stagger. you wouldn't think she could make it through there with a draw weight shot. On a lot of surfaces, you couldn't.
Yeah, certainly not on most surfaces that these top teams are playing on. That wouldn't be the shot.
By the time you got by the yellow, you'd never make it by the red. She made that look easy. And that creates a problem for Tirinzoni. There's still an outturn path to get to that redstone now too. So you saw that they're kind of playing this as an either or. She can freeze just to the inside corner of the yellow. You saw Alina Petz talk about, well, if we crash the guard, we might take away both paths.
Yeah, remember, there is one more high center guard out there.
Yep.
So if you crash on that tighter center guard, you're really creating a wall in front of the house there.
And Silvana throws a lot less rotation than the MacMillan team, so her rock's going to run a little differently as well. Boy, it looks like she can get to the inside corner of that yellow. Wow, what a draw. Gets to the inside corner, and I think just enough that it looks to me like it's angled to go by the stone at the top of the button.
Yeah, excellent shot. You'll need drag if you're trying to catch the one on the button. You'll have to drag a little bit to make it.
Now, if you're going to play the pick on that stone, it certainly it will drag that direction. That amount of ice, they can't be throwing this with a lot of weight. So maybe just trying to tap it frozen?
Yeah.
Gonna have to curl to get a piece of the red at all. Can she chip just the yellow?
She might. No, that was right by.
And again, another one that you'd look at that and say, there's not a hole there with the intern. But apparently there was. Now, some of that is the difference in the way they throw it, because the MacMillan team, again, they throw a much more pronounced rotation. I don't think Silvana Tirinzoni could get through that hole with an intern.
I really like that little chip off the tighter guard now.
Yeah. You're greedy. You got to plug this hole first and foremost. You have to take this side away, but you're right. You chip that a little bit, you could take both shots away. And it's really not that risky to play. You're still just playing the guard. You're sweeping it for that little chip. If you just end up guarding the one, that's fine. Not sure what they're looking at with the rocks in the house. They must be talking about what the possibilities are. They do see the chip now. That's Selena Vichonki talking about that.
Yeah, there's also the angle run back right now that Team MacMillan can play on that corner guard, right-hand side from the thrower's perspective.
Yeah. It's risky. I mean, if you ever hit it just wrong and you put it onto the red, it's a steal of 2. The red at the top of the 8-foot.
Yep. Not sure what they've exactly decided. I still like that chip on the guard. So
yeah, I don't think there's ever any question they were playing some kind of a guard over here. I think the question is whether they were playing the chip off of, and whether or not they're trying to take away extra shots. I think you worry about taking away the shot that was just played first, but this guard is in the neighborhood where you can play that tick, and you sweep for the tick. So they're sweeping for it now, trying to get some curl. Going to be close to it. Oh, they actually might have overcarved it. No, that's really good.
Very good, very good.
Looking at the double peel on the reds that were the one just thrown onto the one that was just tapped. Try to get everything out of the middle, just leave that long guard to be a guard by itself. Nothing out of the brushers. Going to be very thin on the first one. Almost just dead jams it. It will spin into the rings. Can Alina get to the red stone at the top of the 8-foot with enough weight to kill the yellow?
Yeah, she'll need to get to the nose to be safe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you might rub the stone behind as long as you can throw enough weight. She's also talking about the straight guard. Her first thought was to try to tap it, and I love that call if you can make it, but she can only see, there's a look at it as they kind of parked at the hog line. She can see just a sliver over half. It is a long guard, but the only way you're going to get finish around the guard is you throw quiet weight. Then you're not guaranteed you're going to get the yellow all the way through. If the guard's there, she could kill the yellow easy.
For sure.
If the stagger's the other way, she could kill the yellow easy. That's the problem. I think part of the discussion might have been that they don't think that Kayla can do much with it. Like she can't see the outside edge of that red to try to drag it towards to drag the yellow towards the shot stone now.
Yeah, you're right.
So they're going to guard the other side.
I mean, you could end up leaving your rock so buried that you force Kayla into that angle run back. Even though it has risks, that might be the only thing she has left.
You get this tight enough, she might not have it. Well, that doesn't take it away. It actually probably protects from the risk a little bit more.
Yeah,
because,
I was going to say, you could actually make it less risky.
Yeah. I don't think she plays it on her first one.
Oh, I agree with you. She'll have nothing if she misses it on the first one.
They're looking for an angle that just isn't there, and I'm in the same boat. I'm trying to see, like, what has she got? If the corner guard on the other side wasn't there, she might be able to drive the red and the 12-foot into that, but I don't think she can hit it thin enough right now. You know, if you could drive it into the red-yellow combination at the center, I think the yellow goes into the shot stone, but I don't think she can get to the outside of that red stone enough right now.
No, I was looking at whether she could make kind of the red double, the red that's in the full 12 onto that red onto the 8-foot and try to get it sideways. Leave the yellow more open for use on the last stone. Maybe the shooter can hang around on the side of the 12, but...
Could you ever just tap right now? I don't think you're shot rock, but you come down, tap the red, move the yellow up into the button area, and then try to leave your shooter and the red stone angled to be able to make a double off that top button stone. I mean, she's going to throw a guard on that, and then
yeah,
you're
going to throw a guard on that. And I think the problem with that is if you do make that tap, you could end up leaving a situation where you would never actually be able to run that Yellowstone in. It might act as backup.
True. This is one of those ones where in my limited opportunities to coach, if they called a timeout here and you came out as a coach and they asked you, well, what do you like? I think my answer would be, well, I'd like to be throwing red. Because yellow's in trouble. Do you play the run now? And I just say that because if it goes disastrously wrong, at least you've still got an out-turn draw then to cut the damage.
Yeah, it's not a bad call right now, quite honestly.
Like, I don't see anything else either.
There's nothing else that obviously can help you. You're right. And maybe you have to play that run now. I know they're thinking that that's the last one they want to use, but there might not be a last one if you don't do it now.
Well, and again, as I said, if you play it now and it does turn out to be an absolute disaster, well, they think it drags. They're going to try it. Boy, the hole looks small here.
It's tiny.
Is this one where actually your best bet might be if you could rub that one in the top 12 foot as you're coming by, then you come in at a sharper angle, you'll get a little bit more drag, but that's really tough to call. It's got to be what she's playing, though. There's not enough room to get through there straight. Not with weight, anyway. Certainly not with that broom. Picking the high guard would be a disaster. Kayla MacMillan with her first. Looking to move some things around here. Hoping she can get a drag towards Shot Rock. This is still out there. She's going to be fairly thick on that first one. Well, there it's moving. She gets a little drag, not enough. She'll touch it, leaves it buried. The yellow spins all the way across, and when the dust clears, Tirinzoni sitting 3. There is probably a draw path to the button. So Pets will try to guard that, and then what do you have? Not a lot. You'd need a raised double.
Yeah, not a lot of options once you put the guard here. I mean, a pretty good effort there from Kayla MacMillan, but I'm not really sure she could have gotten much out of it.
Yeah,
she did, quite honestly.
I mean, she hit it as well as she could. It just wasn't there. I think they were hoping at least to kill the shot stone that way, but it didn't move it very far.
Yeah, you're right. It's still fully in the 4 foot, and now you guard this draw path, and you're going to have a tough time getting in there.
15-foot angle raised to the button. And actually, if she gets the guard tight enough, she takes that away too.
And they will try to do that, try to get this tight enough to guard that long angle raise.
Well, she takes away the draw path, but the good news, and I'm playing fast and loose with the word good, is you've still got that open 15-foot tap to the to the button.
There's still a shot.
You're saying there's a chance. She's going to play this with a little bit more weight, so she's playing it as a hit, which is fine. You hit it on the right angle. You do have a couple of red stones over there you could make contact with to at least reduce the damage. If you're a little thin on the first one, it could even come off that stone just biting the top of the 12 foot. You come off the back end of that and it may spin into the 4 foot.
Yep. Those are all the positives. But this is a long raise for sure. Game's on the line here.
Yeah, that's true. It's already down 2, facing 3. And no guarantee she even cuts them down here. This is a tough shot. Brusher's on the standby. It's going to be, that got the last little bit of movement. This looks pretty good.
Oh, she's got it.
Probably shouldn't have left her that. She gets a single point on the board. One more look at it. She did throw that quiet control weight. It's just like a hack waiter out of her hand. Something that they can control with the brush, but they didn't have to. Just as it crossed the Wallace logo out there, it started to make a move. I think before that, I was thinking she might be a little too thin. Comes up just enough, taps it directly onto Shot Rock. Gets herself on the board. She picks up a big single point. Big, not just because it's the one for her, but it takes the 3 away that it looks like might have been getting stolen. Tirinzoni with a 2-1 lead and last rock as we begin play in the 6th.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbach coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsocktickets.com. Let's rock!
Well, a game saver, a 15-foot angle raised to a stone at the corner of the 4-foot for Kayla MacMillan to salvage a single point out of that 5th end. But unable to salvage that throw as it comes up just short. It's a hog stone trying to throw the second guard. We started this 6th end off with a center guard. The come around a little bit deep. It's just behind the button, the pinhole. And the second guard is the one you just saw hogged, and now looking to bring another one on top of the shot stone. And MacMillan's going to have to try to generate some offense here. Try to at the very least, you got to think she needs a force, but she would love to steal this 6th end and get back to even. That's really tough now after hogging the guard.
Yeah, that's why she decided to play the double center guards, the second one being that high guard, and fortunately they couldn't get it over. As you said, even end, so they really wanted to at least force Tirinzoni and not have a blank out of this, or maybe even try to get the steal.
Hard to play too aggressively now, though, when you get that hogged stone, and it helps MacMillan that Tirinzoni's team hasn't managed to get either one of those 2 draws exactly where they'd like it. The first one is behind the center line, or behind the tee line, and the second one didn't get up to the center line, so she's left a bit of a pocket. This one needs to curl as well, though. She'll get to 3/4 of the nose. That was the 5th stone. Now you can peel the center guard.
Yep, Silvana doesn't want to play around here. She wants to keep that blank alive. Have no risk of giving up a steal.
I think we're going to see a series of guard peel, guard peel, guard peel. You're going to guard that yellow for your life for a little bit. You have to at least take the center line side of it away. Tirinzoni's going to continue to peel it for a bit. What's your play, Jason, when you come into the house, and how early do you want to play it? Like, early is probably the wrong word. It's going to be late. It's going to be either thirds last, maybe, or skips first.
Yeah, you're certainly not going to make a play into the house too soon here.
I find these interesting to really fun to watch and to talk about too, because it's, you know, there's my preference, there's your preference. Neither of ours matters. It's the two teams on the ice, but there's always that little bit of a timing. You throw one too many guards, because Tirinzoni's already sitting two. You throw one too many guards and she decides, yeah, we're just going to score 3 on you. Now, that's not going to happen I'm quite confident it's not going to be any time in the next 2 rocks anyway. This is the last of the second stones. But where's that point where you've thrown one too many guards? And if you're worried about that point as Kayla MacMillan, that influences when you make your play in the rings. It's just, I find it really fun to watch the game of cat and mouse here.
Yeah,
it's almost like, hurry up and get these next 2 rocks through, because I want to see where we're going after that.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing for Team MacMillan is that freeze that they did play in there isn't angled on the right angle. So when they play another one in there, I think Tirinzoni shouldn't have too much of a problem blasting them away.
Yeah, and she didn't get shot or second, so that also kind of forces her to maybe play. It might force her to come into the house a shot earlier. You know, if she shot rock, she could guard this right through, but she's not.
She has to make a play. 4 women's quarterfinals out there. All of these games quite close. In fact, I just had a sneak peek over at Isabella Rano and Serena Gray Withers, and Gray Withers got 2 points in the 5th end to take a 3-2 lead. That's our other feature match this morning. Hang playing DuPont, Hang leading also 3-2, I believe, after 5 ends of play.
So points not exactly plentiful here on Sunday morning on any of the sheets.
No, in the final game, Xenia Schwaller and Sun Young Ha of Korea, I think they're still playing the 5th end. Lots of rocks in play in that 5th.
Wondering, does she have to come in now? I'm wondering if this is one shot too early. She had already decided to throw the guard, but Brittany Tran was on her way down. I think maybe as much as anything, she wanted to take a look at the angles in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably have to throw one more guard, but you don't expect Tirinzoni to miss appeal, so you'll be in this situation. But again, you're trying to reduce the number of chances the opposition can have at blasting anything you throw into the house. So,
well, and to me, I think what influences the decision here, it's not that you expect her to miss a guard or don't expect her to miss the appeal on the guard. It's, I don't expect her to ignore it just yet. But it'd be scary to throw one more guard after this, because she might just decide, okay, well, we're just going to score 3 on you. I'm still trying to decide what's the... So the next one probably has to make a play into the house. But what is that play going to be? Do you try to come down to the... just a sliver on the high side of the yellow, tap the reds back, leave a wall, and try to leave the 2 yellows angled to go into the wall? Tough shot.
That's what I was thinking. still being made.
It's the easiest way I see to not leave a double, for sure.
Yeah, that's what they're motioning right now. Exactly what you were talking about.
You're still not likely to be shot rock, but you have to create a jam possibility here, I think. And critical to stay just a sliver to the high side on this. If you cross to the center line side, you'll leave angle to double the yellows. Silvana Tirinzoni or Elena Betts will be throwing. She won't care if she kills the red ones with it. If both yellows can go, she's playing it. So you have to stay a sliver to the high side so that the two yellows will be angled into the two reds. Pressure's just cleaning as they wait for a weight call. That call comes a little early. It's already curling. I don't think they're getting... They're not staying on the outside, I don't think. Well, she's definitely not jamming it into both of them.
No, but I think they'll both go still with weight.
Yeah, probably. Possibly. There's enough drag. Yeah, it looks like it's only angle to. From the overhead, it's hard to tell, but as you look from the house end, it looks like the two yellows are angled to about half of that red. She's also talking, like, the yellows aren't very usable for MacMillan either. She's talking about playing the draw here. You play the draw, your shooter's not going anywhere. I'll be surprised in the end if they don't go to the double, but they are talking about the options.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they'll end up going to double. I think if you play the draw, you just can't be kind of frozen on the inside of that red stone that's biting the back of the butt. Then you could maybe blast and get all three red ones to go, and you might be able to leave your shooter and sit 3.
Yeah, I think if you're playing the draw, you have to move the red one back 3 inches. You don't worry about being shot. You worry about making sure they can't get your shooter out. You don't worry about sitting 2. Sorry. I don't think you want to hit it on the outside. If you're hitting this, you're hitting it from the center line side. Maybe they think they're too far apart to drag. That's a little tough to tell too. Again, from the overhead, they look fairly close together, but it's got to be, yeah, maybe it's 3-4 inches. They're not going to drag as much when they're that far apart. I don't think it ever slices back towards that stone at the back and forefooot, though. They're still too close together for that.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, and as we predicted, we thought they would settle on playing this yellow double attempt, no matter how long they discussed it.
Well, you almost didn't have to look at the screen. You could turn away and say, okay, who's throwing next? What's Alina throw next? Has she got some kind of double? Yep. Well, that's what she's going to play. She's so good at these. One of the best in the women's game. Gets 1, gets 2, gets them both spinning. Don't know if she's going to get them both out. Only gets the one out of the rings, but certainly has left herself a lot more room to make sure she can score. A little surprised they didn't sweep that more than they did. She hit that first one fairly thick. I thought they were trying to hit it really thin to make sure she got the action on the first stone.
Yeah, I think if they swept it a little bit more or just hit a little bit thinner, that top one's gone.
Yeah, it's the top one that actually stayed. She jammed it fairly solidly onto the second one.
Well, MacMillan might get her forced here. That they needed that.
Makes the hit. She'll try to roll over just a little bit. I was just thinking she might have liked to roll about 6 to 8 inches further. You want to put that in a spot where she at least has to think about, are we hitting this or drawing? But still in the 4-foot like that, definitely going to play the hit.
Absolutely, and Tirinzoni, they did get forced, but I don't think they're too upset about that situation.
No,
forced back in the 7th and have Hammer coming home in the 8th.
You got a 2-point lead in a game where there's only been 4 points scored through 6 ends. That's a pretty good spot to be in. This still has to be made. This is still on the center line. It's got a curl. He's going to make contact, but how far is the shooter going to roll? Long ways. And we are tied. That's a steal they didn't expect to get, but that is why you try to roll that one off the center line. Try to maybe put it in a trickier spot. She didn't get off the center far enough, and it didn't take the finish. We're tied up after 6 ends of play. It'll be Tirinzoni with last rock still in the 7th.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. TheRockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Well, a steal that came out of nowhere gives MacMillan new life here. They're all tied up once again after 6 ends of play. It's 2 apiece. Tirinzoni does still have last rock in the 7th end, and this makes for that interesting game of cat and mouse to continue. Center guard goes up to start, the come around. Jason and I talk about this in these broadcasts all the time. You get into a spot like this where you don't have last rock, you just want to see somebody score here if you're Kayla MacMillan. You'll take a steal, you'll take a force. As long as there's 1 point goes on the board, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And I mean, that was just an uncharacteristic miss at the end by Alina Pats.
Yeah. Now you turn things around. Tirinzoni here trying to bring a second one into the top of the 4-foot. For Tirinzoni, she would absolutely love to see a blank here and get last rock coming home. And I say this somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but you'd be surprised how often it happens. You have to be open, though, when you know your opposition is trying to force a score here. Be open to letting them force you to 3, because it happens. You know, if a team plays 2 whole hog to try to make sure that something goes on the board, they have to be willing to ignore some stones. And sometimes it can make for some big scores here in the 7th end.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't be so blinded by the blank that you won't let them force you to 3. The setup so far in the 7th end's right out of the strategy handbook. You've seen the 2 center guards, 1 long, 1 tight, splitting center. the two into the top of the house, and now trying to move the stone in the top of the 8, maybe jiggle a couple of them, get something behind the tee line. Would have liked to have jiggled the second one as well, but just gets the one for now and leaves it in the back of the 12-foot. And that's that kind of rock that can end up being that force to 3 stone that I was just talking about. You're going to play the come around again and continue to keep the pressure on the MacMillan team. The key here is that first draw was made so well, just biting the top of the button.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good chance here for Team Tirinzoni to really put the pressure on.
Here's another good come around. She's going to get right to the face of her own. Probably didn't want to tap it like that, but still leaves it in front of the tee line. They're okay there. MacMillan still has some work to do to even try to open up any kind of room to score. Right now, she doesn't even have room to get a force. You get the freeze on the red, freeze tap on the red. She's still got the whole 4-foot.
Yeah, with those double center guards, they were committed to try to get a force or a steal here, and now I'm pretty sure you're going to get a score. It doesn't look like you're going to get a blank out of this. Team Tirinzoni, they see a good setup for themselves to score multiples here in the 7th.
Well, that setup might be just about to get better because I don't see this getting by.
Not that second guard.
That probably takes away any kind of in-turn draw path that MacMillan might have had to try to get towards shot rock. And a chance to bring the third one in now for Tirinzoni, and it's almost getting to the point where as much as you don't want to be hitting or running things in if you're MacMillan, she might have to.
Yeah, I think if this gets to the top 8 where Silvana wanted it, I think Kayla has to play at least one run in here, maybe the one that's on the center line side.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. And then as much as we said it's not looking like a blank, you know, if the only guard out there is that long center, it's not guarding much by itself. We could still get back to a blank here. She may not have crossed that quite enough. You hit what you can see of that with some weight, you probably kill 2 of them. The problem is your shooter's going to be awfully close to taking out the yellow on the side as well, and then they're still going to be sitting 2 with that one at the back on the other side. Come down and wiggle them through the open side, or you play the run on the other side, which is still the shot. That's the one you and I were looking at, and I think it's still your best option. You sure don't want to ever hit this thin, miss the reds, or even go over the top on the reds, lose the yellow altogether, lose the shooter. You just start to run out of guards, and that's advantage Tirinzoni.
Yeah, exactly right, Sean. Yeah, this was the one I was talking about earlier.
Needs to come up a little, I think. There it goes. She's close. Yeah, still just a little bit too far over the top, though. And now that long guard by itself, I'm not sure how much that does. I have to think it would be tempting here to hit the yellow and sit 4. Yeah.
That's what they're looking at.
That's what Alina's looking at. It's not what Silvana's looking at. Because there is enough of that stone, that's probably what she's worried about. You play the hit off that, and you're rolling into those reds on the side. 1 red right now, but it would be 2 if you play this hit. You can see enough of the inside of that yellow to play, as Silvana or as Alina was just talking about, play the long roll. If you stay just in behind the corner guard, so you stack, if you look at the overhead, you play the hit and roll just on top of your other red, you're going to leave a double wide target if she wants to play the double off that one in the middle of the 8-foot. Could play the straight draw. That's nothing wrong with the draw right now to sit 3. Except she's still playing that shot off the red into that pocket on the side. I like that. They're talking about tapping now. Try to get just across the face, tap that red back a little bit. Maybe Christmas tree them a little bit more so that it's a lot harder to get the hit and roll into that pocket on the side. They're not talking about rolling to that corner pocket themselves. What they're worried about leaving that as an option for Kayla MacMillan. Now, if she rolls right into the side of the yellow, you're still sitting shot rock, but if she rolls in front of that red, stays for second, you have a hard time ever getting it out.
I do like the straight tap the best.
Yeah, it's the best result because then it doesn't, now that hit and roll into the corner is so thin.
And we talked about Silvana throwing a little bit less rotation. She'll get a little bit more curl around this guard and probably be able to tap it right on the nose.
Well, they're sweeping for curl right away. That might indicate she was a little full. Looks like she might also be a little on the strong side if she's going to be on the outside. Get a little bit of a tap. The angle works for her because to hit thin enough for the double, they might jam the first one.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And
no, it works.
If Kayla tried to corner freeze on shot stone, you have that red stone that you can drive right into it. So
I think she has to play that anyway, though. What else do you see? You play the corner freeze around the intern side, let them blast, and then you're hoping that a bunch of reds fly, and you've got some kind of freeze or even the hit and roll off your own yellow. Where are we at? Third's last.
yeah, you could be right. There might not be a whole lot of other options than to play this corner freeze as they're motioning.
Well, it's like this. When you can't get rid of the red stones, you have to try to position this in a spot where you might make Tirinzoni get rid of some of the reds on her own. And then hope that you're left with some kind of good angle, because she really doesn't have a way to get a stone into a great spot. The freeze, like you said, she could definitely run into the stone she just threw into it, but you need to open up some room. If you can make her kill that stone off the top of the button, you might have some kind of come around on the next one.
Yeah, the only other way I could see getting one in there behind some cover is coming off your own Yellowstone. Come off the yellow, come off that red one, kind of a little bit of around the horn, but I wouldn't be doing that right now.
Yeah,
You've got nothing
I'm
left
with you.
on your last shot, and you needed that to get behind cover. That's what you could do.
Well, you might even do it on skips first if that stone wasn't... The stone in the forefoot, you need to make it go away, and you can't make it go away, so you kind of need to put it in a spot where Silvana makes it go away, because then when you play that hit and roll off the yellow, you only have to roll just in front of that red stone. It's still behind cover. Kind of trying to put this in a position where you can force Tirinzoni to maybe get rid of a couple of reds for you and then open up some more space for yourself. This has really got to go for weight, though. She might have pulled the string here. That does not help her at all. I think you have to be real careful if you're playing a draw over there. She doesn't have much right now if you don't throw. Don't give her anything. Anything she could throw to draw around on that side right now, you're going to have either the slash on the red or possibly even the tap-tap if she's in the back forefoot. So if you're going to play this draw, you have to make sure you get edge to edge with the yellow at least.
Yeah, that's what they decided to do. I mean, if they make the shot...
You can't leave air. If you leave air between the red and the yellow, she's got something to hit and roll off of. Looks like a lot of ice when she's playing this come around too. Now, again, Silvana's will curl a little bit more than MacMillan's will. Starting to move now. There's still a lot of air though. This has got to curl. They need this to stop because it's not going to get the line they needed. Takes away the draw path.
Yeah, and now do you look at this and roll in off the yellow, or are you going to try to eliminate some red stones first?
Well, yellow into red, like it almost is angled to clip the red at the other side of the forefoot too. Your shooter might take out the one she just threw. Like if you could see enough of that yellow to dead stuff it into the red, you could actually maybe make a double on the reds and sit second.
Yeah, I think
Just
you
not...
can hit enough of that yellow.
Okay.
It is important to stick around for second shot, I think. If you're only third shot after this, I don't think it's helping you a whole ton. Because you won't be able to raise that yellow stone after.
No. You have to hit everything you can see. If you're a little thin, you go across the top of the second one. The second one probably goes between the two reds. You'd still cut them down to 2 for now anyway, I guess. But if you could dead stuff it back there, double the 2 reds in the 8-foot, that gets you out of a lot of trouble in a hurry. It looks better from the overhead than it does looking straight on at it. Straight on at it, it looks like she can only see about a third, and you're in danger of coming over the top with that. You'd love to hit half on this. She's had to make some big shots to keep her team in this game. Needs another big one here. Had quite the pop on the release. This is going to come off the red first, I think.
Yeah, if she makes it off the red, you're never making it.
No. Left her shooter in an interesting position because Alina Petz is going to have to make a play on it. She can't really stay right there, can she? She'd leave a shot, so she's got to roll to the outside, and that's going to leave the draw path that they were worried about. They're going to take a minute to talk about this. Do you see anything else? Like, I guess if you roll right beside it, she can't really just freeze into it because that still leaves a draw for 3. If she plays the double, which wouldn't be easy.
I kind of like rolling into the just beside.
Yeah.
I think that maybe takes as much away as possible, and you still maybe have a chance for 3.
Yeah, she can't really just freeze to it. She freezes to it, she's giving you the draw for 3. Then that's probably game.
Yeah, or you play a double and you're giving a draw for 3 as well. So did they decide to roll away instead here?
Yeah, and that's not wrong. I mean, you roll away. She's going to try to freeze to the top one, but I mean, you've been playing the whole end since you put that tap there, thinking if they ever make the freeze to the top of the forefoot, we've got the little slash. Well, that's pretty good. So you're either freezing that one there, I think, or this might be where you, because I mean, if this goes wrong, the game's over anyway. You could play the hit off the yellow one now and try to get to the back of the forefoot behind those 2 reds where you're shot rock.
Yeah, that's what we were eyeing earlier. I mean, I like the freeze now, quite honestly. That if they try to play that short little run on the red rock that's on the top 8, maybe the frozen rock will catch on that side red now.
Yeah,
the one
it
that
might.
goes through.
It might. I actually didn't think when they put the broom down they were trying to stay. I thought when they were trying to roll away, roll right out.
Yeah, I don't think they've actually left it in a great spot. That's why I kind of like that rolling in towards the shot stone. Just cover up the top of the 4. Even if you left the double, I mean, I don't think they're playing the double because they're giving up 3 if they play the double.
Well, if you rolled right into the edge of the red stone, the double would have been tough too, because that long guard is still would have been protecting the pocket between the 2 of them ever so slightly.
Yeah, absolutely.
All I see that they could be talking about here is to try to play one of the hit and rolls under. Now, if she makes the freeze absolutely perfect and they're worried that they can't get it under their own, there's still going to be a draw for 2, or they could even come off that stone that Alina just threw.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they might be content to score 2, but if they get the chance for 3 or 4, or boy, with the rocks in play, it could even be 5. That could be the game right here. They've discussed a few other options at the hack end. They're going to go down and take a look at what might be there.
So I think they're going to end up with the same conclusion, that they're going to play this freeze.
Yeah, you've got absolutely no room to bounce. That's the scary thing. Can you hit something, even the red? You'd have to throw it with quiet weight to get behind. If you get to the back of the button, it's a good result, but it's such a tough shot. Either one, either to come off the yellow or to come off the red that was just thrown. To get to the back of the button with a hit and roll, it's just so very, very tough. So they're going to stick with the freeze. This is not easy either. I mean, it's very precise. She's got to weld it right on the corner. If you leave any separation, that angle slash, then it clears the stone on the top of the forefoot. If it clears the stone in the forefoot, you don't have to worry about it going sideways into that one that was just thrown. You've got to weld this.
Yes, you can bounce here.
Short on the last attempt. They jumped the sweep early again. It's not heavy. She's got to get by the stone at the top of the 8-foot as well. And it's just going to rub it. Yeah, I think that slash is hard to miss.
Yeah, I think it pushes right through now.
Well, I don't even think you can see enough of the red to hit it too thick. She could almost go after it directly, to be
Directly
honest.
as well, yeah.
Take it off of her own.
Yeah, it looks like it should slide under as well. They can pretty much get to nose directly.
I'll still be shocked if they don't play the slash, and partly because since they put that rock there, they've had it in the back of the. I mean, they've been prepared to play that slash for the last 3 shots. They set it up. They knew it was there. It looks like they're still worried about going into the side of that red, but I just that would be one thing if you were hitting it on the nose. You're not. You're hitting it from the side. I don't think it's even. I'd be shocked if it even redirects. Certainly not going to redirect much. It'll catch the back end of it, if anything, and
yeah,
should be for at least 3. If it misses it, it's for 4.
Yeah, I'm using a piece of paper going on, trying to draw the tangent, and I'm not seeing it between that red stone on the side. I feel like it goes cleanly, actually, but even if you play the direct hit.
Silvana getting extremely greedy. You see her lining up. If you ever hit that first red one about a quarter of a stone, your shooter could come across, get that red at the side of the 12-foot as well, and then it would be for 6. But they're awfully worried about that stone on the side, and I don't think it's going over there. You do have to, in some cases, you have to defer to the players on the ice because they can see the true angles. The overhead does distort it a little bit.
All right, they've decided on the slash. The shooter might catch the other one for that 6 points, as you mentioned, John.
Yeah.
You don't need 6 here. 4 is more than enough.
Yeah, for sure. They don't really need to whip this either, but looks like they're going to throw pretty fair weight at it. They're actually sweeping for curl. She doesn't need to hit this real thick. It did catch the back end of it, but it's going to spin back, and the shooter caught the other one, so still for 4. They'll just confirm around the outside. It's 3 for sure. Looks like 4 to me.
Yeah, it certainly does.
And now there'll be a quick discussion, and if it's 4, that's too many. They will shake hands. Silvana Tirinzoni picks up a 6-2 win here over Kayla MacMillan in the quarterfinals. She'll move on to play in the semifinals a little later on today. We've got a lot of action yet to come here from Swift Current. Men's and women's action through the playoffs today. I think it's the men's quarterfinals up next. Semifinal action in both the men's and women's coming up in about 6 hours time. And the finals yet later on this evening. We will have all of it for you here on the Curling Stadium Network from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We want to thank you for joining us here this morning as well as all weekend long, and we look forward to seeing you for those last 3 draws. My name's Sean Joyce. On behalf of myself, Jason Chang, and Connor Sims on production, thanks for joining us this morning, and we'll see you back here in just over an hour.